Hello everyone, it's Missy with MissEverLee Designs. Today we're going to do our very first crochet with me. We'll see how this goes and if you guys like it for beginners. I have the advanced video coming up where you're not actually hearing me describe things and you just want to know what the heck stitch you want to do and move on with it. But this is for people who are just starting to crochet and might need a little more assistance, or maybe even just a little reassurance that not everyone is as perfect as they seem when they take a video, because we do stumble along too. A lot of editing goes into that. Not to worry. All right, so we're going to be doing this basic bow today. No big thing. This is all the same pattern, just using different yarns and colors. I'm going to be doing a gray yarn today just because I honestly don't have a gray bow. That's the only reason. And then I'm using a 5mm hook or H hook. I'm using one that I don't normally use so that I can just kind of stumble along and you guys can see how imperfect us crocheters are. If you're not sure what hook you're supposed to be using with your yarn, if you still have your tag, which I understand if you don't, it's whatever, you find it right here where you see the little hook shape. H or 5mm hook will be right here, or whatever your yarn needs. It doesn't really matter for this pattern what yarn you use. It might just be a little bigger than mine or a little bit smaller. If your yarn's thicker, it'll be big. Smaller, not so much. Here we go, my gray yarn. First things first, I am going to need to do a slip knot. Now when I do the slip knot, I'm gonna have a little bit longer of a tail than I would normally leave, just because I want to be able to tie my bow into things. And then what you do is you make a little U shape, and then there's so many different ways to do this, guys, but I'm just showing you how I do it. So you flip it upside down so it makes a little X, and then you put your hands through, grab the bottom one or the one going over the top, and pull through. There's tons of videos on slip knots, but that's just a little quick thing on how I do it. And then you're gonna pull it so you have one loop on your hook. All right, and then we're going to chain 10. So to chain, you're gonna put your hook through, grab the yarn, and pull through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. Now we're gonna do a single crochet in the second chain from the hook. So 1, 2, that is where we're gonna stick our hook in. Now when it comes to where you're putting the yarn into your chain, that's really gonna be up to you. You're not gonna see this at all. So I know a lot of times if I want it to look really nice and braided at the bottom, I'll go through the little stump guy here in the back. But since I'm not, I'm just going to the side because it is way easier for me. So you do you. 1, 2, all right. So you put your hook through, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. That's your first single crochet. So you have 8 more single crochets to do on this row. Simple enough. You're going to put your hook into the next chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. All right, and now you have, let's see if I can do some basic math here. 9 minus 8 is 7 more to do. All right, so just keep repeating that into the next chain. 3 single crochets, 4 single crochets, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, so once you get to 9, it should look a little something like this. I feel like this light is a little too bright, so I'm gonna turn it there. There we go. All right. Let's see how many times I can say all right. Drink every time, guys. Whoop, whoop. All right. So when you get to the end of the row, you're going to chain 1. So you again just yarn over and pull the yarn through the loop. That's chain 1, and then turn. To turn, you're just going to pretend that your little tiny row here is a book and flip the page over. Okay, so now here on the top for the second row, this first one is our chain. So we want to go into the second chain from our hook, which is right here. And we're going to put our hook through this little hole right here. Hook through, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So there's our first single crochet of our second row. We're going to repeat that 8 more times. All right, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, and this last one here is a little odd. I remember when I first started, if I wasn't counting, this one is not as big of a deal because it's kind of smaller, but when I would count like long pieces, and I would think that maybe this was the end and it kind of went like this, but it doesn't. That last one is kind of funky on the side here. So you just put your hook through it. Show you a little better. Put your hook through. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull. I don't know what I was just saying there. Single crochet. There we go. That's your second row. Woo! Done 2 rows. Give yourself a pat on the back, or don't, because let's keep going. Chain 1. Turn your work. All right, so this is two rows. I'm going to keep going, and I'll show you halfway through. I'll show you halfway through a little counting trick, a little counting tip, so that you don't have to keep track of your rows, because let's be honest, no one wants to do that. So you just have to like learn how to count the rows so you don't have to actually keep track as you're going. Sound good? All right. So we're on row 4 right now. Chain 1 and turn. Some fun things to like just keep in mind. This happens to me still sometimes, especially when I'm on camera doing things, 'cause I get a little nervous. But if your piece starts to curl up quite a bit, It actually means that your tension is just a little tight, or maybe you're a little anxious, or you're angry at your yarn, because I mean, sometimes I can do the same thing. Also, a thing to notice, if this is way scrunched in down here and then puffs out where you do your stitches, or your stitches, your single crochets, then your chain was probably a little too tight. It does not matter for this particular pattern, honestly. Because the back is gonna be, or the chain is gonna be covered up anyways. So no big deal. Oh, dog wants in. You think he would understand that I'm recording right now? I had to let my doggy in. He wants to hang out and crochet too. Sweet boy will be 15 next month. See how mine's curling up a little bit? You all are making me nervous. I could always do these on lives too, if anyone wants me to start doing that. Unwind some yarn, however you do it. I always just unwind a lot and just throw my yarn around the room. Whatevs. All right, let's see how many rows we're at now. For a counting tip, if you see here, these are columns. You can see this little column here. Yeah, Max, it's a column. And this is the back side. So you see how there's like a little nub right here? A little nub thing over here. So this is a half column. So that's the back side. So turn it to this side. One column is 2 rows of single crochet. So you're at 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So we are halfway through. Because we need 24 total rows. So let's keep going, chain 1 and turn. So I am holding my crochet hook knife style. There is no right or wrong way to do this. It all just depends on how you feel when you're doing it. I like knife style because it doesn't hurt my wrist as much. It also feels more natural for me since I am a hairstylist, so I hold scissors like this. I also hold my hook like that. My partner Leanne, who works with me here at MissEverLee Designs, she's a pencil holder, so she holds it like this. And she always refers to the way, I'm not very good at this, she always refers to the way I crochet as stabbing my yarn, which is kind of true because I literally hold it like, well, I hold it with my fingertips, but I hold it like this and I just stab it through. It's so true. It does slightly change the way your stitches look. Leanne and I do a lot of same patterns, obviously, to send out to our customers. And we have noticed that there is slight variations just in the angle that we hold everything. Neither of which is right or wrong, it's just slightly different. And it is something that we make sure to disclaim for people that there's two people crocheting this and we're not robots. So they might look slightly different. It'll be so slight, like I'm sure only a crocheter would ever notice, but we notice. All right. Since I've been talking and jabbing, I'm just gonna make sure that my stitch count is right. I know my row count, but I'm just gonna make sure that my stitches are good. All right, let's see if we can get the light here so you can see this really well. So these braids, that's what I call these on the top. I don't know if it's because I do hair or if that's what it's actually called, but that's what I call it, like the little braid stitches. So that's what I count. You start from the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's perfect. That's 9. We're right where we need to be. Some people also count the stubs. I can do that too. I generally don't with a single crochet, but I'll show you to do it just in case that's your thing. So this is like the post. They're pretty small on single crochets, but you can see it there. So this is 1 post, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 posts. Perfect. All right, I'll stop blabbing and we'll get going. Well, chain 1 and turn. I was thinking if I started actually doing this right, like I'm supposed to be, like I've been telling myself for years, I'm gonna start making YouTube videos. So here I am doing it for you all. And I realized I may have to commit to doing my nails so that you guys can look at something pretty while I'm crocheting. I've always been a blank nail kind of girl, but I don't know. Is that you guys' thing? Everyone seems to have their nails really fancy when they're crocheting, and I don't know, like, do you guys want that eye candy? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. I just figure they're clean, so that's good, right? I was actually, got a little bit of a knot in my yarn. Pull that out real quick, no big deal. I was actually doing a little fall gardening earlier, so I had to make sure to scrub my nails extra hard. So you all did not think I am a dirty bird. I am not. I do like sticking my hands in dirt though. Sorry, not sorry. You all just be lucky that I'm not just straight up in the salon anymore, because then I could possibly have color all over them from doing people's hair and not have any way to get it off. Super cool. There's literally nothing you can do about it. Alright, where are we at? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So we need 2 more rows. Not too bad for me chit-chatting away, explaining. Oh my gosh, I just went too far. I always do this. I just like get in the auto zone and just like do too many rows. All right, there we go. So it's curling a little bit because I don't use this hook often and I'm apparently super tense doing this, but that's okay. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. Oh my gosh, why was that so hard? All right, maybe it's because it's late at night. We're gonna blame it on that. I think that's a good idea. All right, so that's all we have to do crochet wise. Get your scissors or your knife or your teeth, whatever you're using, and cut a decently long piece here because you're going to use that to wrap around. So let's see, I don't know, that's probably a good foot. It's probably a little extensive, but all right, and then this little end piece right here, your 9th single crochet, your very last one, you're just going to take your yarn, put it through that loop, and this will secure it into place. Now we are going to get our needle and thread our yarn. If you are not very good at this, let me give you a life-changing tip. You are going to take the end of your yarn, put it in a little U shape, take your needle and wrap the yarn around it, pinch the yarn and slide out your needle. So you just got the little yarn pinched into your finger. Now take your needle and wiggle jiggle it in there. So it'll be like that. And then pull it through. Bam! All right, now we're gonna need to fold this in half. You're gonna wanna fold it so it's the wrong way out, and how you're gonna know it's the wrong way is it's gonna have that little nubby guy in the beginning that I was telling you about. So not 12 full columns or 24 full rows. So it's gonna have this little nub guy because we'll turn it around after this. All right, so we're going to, I just weave in and out, close it off however you shall please. There's 10 stitches, so I try not to make it too overly complicated. I just go through the chain on the top and the last row of single crochets. And then I just go back and forth. You can go up, around, whatever you're feeling that day. But you will end up with your ends being on the same side, which is fine. And then go ahead and flip it right side out. All right, now the reason why we want it on the full column side is because how you're gonna know you're centered correctly is your seam. Your seam is gonna be in the middle, and then you'll have 3 columns on each side, or 6 rows. And that's your seam. So that's the back of your bow. And in the front of your bow, same thing, there'll be 3 columns on each side. So to get into the bow shape, we're gonna take the longer yarn that we cut last. You should still have your needle on it. I didn't tell you to take it off. And then you're gonna stick your hook through a little space here on the top. There's no really right or wrong, just stick it up there somewhere. And then you're gonna go directly below it to the bottom of that row and stick your yarn in there just like that. And then the back. So then you're on the back side. This side needs to be added. So just stick your needle right there. So we had 3 points. 1, 2, and the back side 3. And then this is already over here from earlier, which is how we're gonna get it to wrap around. So we're gonna turn this way to the front, pinch, and pull your string tight. And then you're going to wrap. So you have your 2 strings like this. You're gonna wrap towards the shorter string. It'll just make your life a whole lot easier. You wrap towards the shorter string. You're gonna wrap twice. For our bows, we don't see the middle. Like some people, you know, they really make it so you can see, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just not what we're doing. So we do 2. I'm gonna go ahead and pull off my yarn needle because I don't need it anymore. And we're gonna do a knot, just like you're tying your shoes minus the bunny ears. So there's that. It's nice and tight, and to secure and make sure you got it secured good, do a double knot. And that's it. That's your bow. Nothing too crazy, super easy, super fun. I hope you enjoyed this beginner level explanation of me babbling. If you did, please leave me a comment. Let me know if you would like it detailed but shorter, or if you want me to do lives like this. Whatever you want me to do, I am ready for it. Follow us on our social media. We have Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, of course. And subscribe.